So I've had holds at the library for a while, and of course they like to come in at the same time, and I get a little overwhelmed because I'm already reading books, wasn't expecting them yet, and then here we are. I have too many options. I do have 3 holds that have come in from the library, and I'm running out of time to read them. It is currently June 18th, and I have until June 26th to read 3 books. 8 days, 3 books. We're gonna see if I can do it. This is what the reading vlog is gonna be about. I'm just gonna see if I can finish all these books before I have to return them. I actually have 2 books that are due on June 26th around like 4 p.m. and then I have one that just got released yesterday on Tuesday. That one is due on July 1st, but by the time I finish the first 2, I think I'll only have about 5 days to read that one, which isn't bad. I'm pretty sure I can do it, but it's still gonna be a little bit of a challenge to me. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see if I can do this. I really hope I do because I don't want to place holds on them again to finish them. Also, I know that airplane mode trick, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not a cheater. Guys, don't be cheating. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. First 2 books that need to be read in a week. The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, and then I also have Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. I read The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. Really loved it. Gave it 5 stars. And I'm really excited for this one because it's like a dark academia vibe, I believe. I don't really know what the plot is, but it's M.L. Wong, so I want to read it. But The Rose Bargain, I did get a little bit of a head start on this last night. I only read 1 chapter in the little prologue thing. And then also the book that I do have a little bit more time to read is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This is her new release. We'll get to that one eventually. But The Rose Bargain. This one is a young adult fantasy. It is about this kingdom. We have this queen. She is a fae queen. Every citizen in this kingdom is able to basically get 1 wish granted, or they get 1 thing from this queen from a bargain. Some examples, people can get a talent to play the piano and be really good at it in exchange for their happiest childhood memory, or they can get the perfect smile in exchange for their sense of taste. So basically every citizen is wanting to do this bargain and exchange something in order to grab the attention for a suitor. We're following our main character Ivy, and it is her debut season now. Her season actually has a twist though. All these girls are actually going to be in competition to get the queen's son as their match. Ivy is kind of all for this because marrying this prince will help her family a lot, and her sister has dealt with this bargain already, but her sister is dealing with a lot from this bargain. We don't know what she bargained off, but I guess it's destroying her. So Ivy getting the chance to marry this prince will help a lot. So it seems very interesting. The first chapter was a great first chapter. I was very intrigued. I wanted to keep reading. I'm excited to get into this. I think it's gonna be good. It says it's like mixed with Cruel Prince and The Selection. I did like The Selection series, but I didn't really like Cruel Prince. I read the first book and I wasn't into it. I'm not really into fae, so I'm nervous about that portion. I think that's the only portion that I'm not really gonna like, but we'll see. So it's gonna be a first read, and the first chapter was basically Ivy going to find Lydia, which is her sister, because she was gone, she was lost. Ivy ends up running into the prince actually, and the prince and Lydia had some kind of thing in the past that Ivy knows about, so she was kind of hesitant with the prince. She doesn't really like him, but the prince like is calling her pretty and stuff, and he's all for her, but she doesn't seem to like him. So I'll catch you up on my first update. We'll see how long it's been, see how many days I have left until I have to return these to the library. Welcome to the vlog. Hope you stick around. Let's get into it. What? Okay. Dude. Hey. Oliver. Did I just learn that The Rose Bargain is the start of a duology? Should I be starting a series? No. Also, it's supposed to storm today. I love me a storm. I want to talk about my bumps in the road, if you will, that are going to be making this a challenge for me. All these things that will keep me busy. Because unfortunately, I cannot be reading 24/7. I would love to do that, but that is not the case. We're going to talk about all the things that I have going on this week. All the things. Like, I'm so busy. My calendar's literally empty, basically. But it is Wednesday, like I said, June 18th. This weekend, on Friday, I have to pack up stuff, and then I have to go set up for one of my vendor shows, and then I have a vendor show Saturday and Sunday. So this weekend is going to be very difficult for me to read. And then the 26th, the day that these books are due, I am going to a lavender festival with my sister, so I'm not going to be able to read at all that day. So I need to have these books finished by the 25th, basically, which is a day less. So we have a week, and that's it. that's all the plans that I have. But yeah, so tiny bumps, but vendor show weekends do take up a lot of time, so I don't know how much I'm gonna read. But with the Rose Bargain, I know I'm probably gonna finish this fast because it is a YA fantasy, and those typically tend to move faster than other things. And I think Blood Over Brighthaven is going to be more of an intricate fantasy, I guess. There's gonna be more to it. I feel like it's gonna be a slower read. It's gonna take a little bit more brain power to read that one. So that is why I'm reading the Rose Bargain first, so I can just get that, I don't want to say get it over with. Like, I'm reading it because I want to read it. I'm reading it for enjoyment. I'm not like reading to get it over with. That's never the case with the book for me. It is the easier read. It's going to be the faster read. That's why I'm putting it first. And I guess that's all I have to say right now. So I'll see you next time. We have 7 days left now. I wanted to do an update. I think I'm going to do an update every day, just so you guys can see where I'm at and how much I read the day before. As you guys saw, I did in fact get a notification last night that my hold is ready. And that was for My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which I am excited for because that is one of my anticipated releases this year, and it's also on my 25 and 2025 list. I do want to read that. I've been wanting to read it since it came out. I had the hold place before it was even released, but it said I had approximately 5 weeks left. I was still 6 in line, so how it was 5 weeks, I have no idea. But I'm learning that every time it says 5 weeks, that probably means I'm going to get the hold the next day, because that's how it's been going. It's always like, okay, you still have a month until you're gonna get this book, and then I get a notification very shortly after that. We have 7 days left for the Rose Bargain and Blood Over Brighthaven, and then the other two are still about 2 weeks, but we'll see if we can get those done as well. I will be adding My Friends to this vlog, so you guys will hear all my thoughts on that, and that'll be the last book because my holds now, I have a while. Anyway, the Rose Bargain. I got to 20% of the way through this book last night, and this is really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a nice YA fantasy. I think the plot is very entertaining. I got to the point where the girls are getting into the competition against each other to win the heart of this prince, and I said that our main character Ivy met the prince in the first chapter, and I don't think I mentioned it in this video yet, but I swear I saw somewhere that there were 2 princes, but then I didn't see anything about it in the synopsis, so I didn't think that was true. But the first chapter, we got Prince Emmett. It said his name, and I didn't even think about that because that's not even the name of the prince in the synopsis. The synopsis is talking about Prince Bram, and he is, I'm gonna call him Prince Bram. He's the son of the queen, so that is the prince that all these girls are competing to marry. And then Prince Emmett, I have no idea who he is, but he's the one that's kind of connected to Lydia, which is Ivy's sister. So I don't know, I'm curious to find out what the heck that is, because I don't know how it went over my head, but everything kind of goes over my head, so I don't even know. But I wanted to give an update before I start my reading for today. I haven't read anything yet. It's about 3:30. I'm probably gonna read for a while. I'm not gonna finish this book tonight. I think it's approximating like 6 hours left for me to read. I always finish it faster than what it says. I don't think I'll have time to finish it tonight. I don't think I want to sit and read for the full night, but I do want to get a good chunk of the way through this. Taste test. This is the first time I've used different berries. Usually I use strawberries and blueberries, but I got a mixed berry bag this time. So it's blueberry, blackberry, and raspberry. My smoothies always just taste like the yogurt because I put so much yogurt in them. We now have 6 days left. Remember when I said yesterday that I wanted to get at least 50% of the way through? I hope 37% is fine because that's in fact where we are. I do only have 4 hours left though, so that's good. That's not too bad. I definitely can finish this today if I want to. I think I'm gonna go walk on the treadmill for a little bit and read while I'm on there. I'm just gonna do a little update before I get into this, but I do think I can probably finish this today. I'm really enjoying this. It's very fun and entertaining. The queen, like there's something sketchy about the queen, and I always love that. I feel like this has a lot of different subtle plot lines that well, I guess not subtle, but there's different characters in here that are kind of, I don't want to say teaming up with different people, but there's things going on with different characters. I feel like there's going to be a lot more of that, and it's just so fun. It's kind of like secrets, betrayal, and I always love that in books. I think the end is going to be kind of crazy because the fact that our main character and then this prince, they have like some type of deal going on, and I'm pretty sure that the ending is going to be like the result of that deal that they have made. I feel like it's not too YA either. Like, it kind of reads like a new adult. It's not anything too cringy. I feel like a lot of people my age or older, you get a little worried about reading YA because you're like, oh, I'm too old for that now. But honestly, young adult is fun. I will admit that. I really love young adult, especially fantasy. As long as it's not crazy cringy or like modern day terms, I'm fine with it. I have a good time, and that is in fact exactly what I'm doing with this book. So yeah, I think it's living up to the hype right now. We'll see how it goes. But unfortunately, I have not made it too far into the book, so I'm gonna go, like I said, walk on the treadmill, read a little bit, and then just get things together and then see how much I can read for the rest of the day. If I don't finish this tonight, I am a little worried now because I'm gonna go into tomorrow with 5 days left and having to read Blood Over Brighthaven in 5 days with a show for 2 of those days. Guess who finished the Rose Bargain? Not me. My hair looks really red right now, and it's not, so I don't know why the sun is doing that. I'm 61% of the way through. I have 2 hours and 19 minutes left of this book. No matter what I do, I am finishing this book tonight. I don't care how late I have to stay up. It's after 8 p.m. right now. I do have my show tomorrow, but I don't care. I don't have to be to the show until 10, so I don't have to go to bed early anyway. We're gonna finish this tonight, I promise. I don't really have any other updates. We have 5 days left now. I don't even know if I said that. I was just really getting into me not finishing the Rose Bargain. If I don't, okay, I'm gonna finish this book, but if I don't finish this book tonight, I'm screwed. I quite honestly am screwed because I need to start Blood Over Brighthaven tomorrow or it's not looking good. It really isn't. I'm gonna go home. I'm always in my car. Sorry, I love being in my car. This is my safe space. This is my home away from home. But I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna finish it and then I will let you know my final update. But yeah, I don't really have too many more updates. I'm feeling the same way. It's super fun. The queen is evil. I know she is, and I am so excited to see what the end of this book entails and what we're gonna get into because it is a duology, so we're leading up to a book 2. I know something's just juicing up for the ending. Guess who finished the Rose Bargain? I did. Thank you. I hope you're proud of me. We are now down to 4 days left. I stayed up until almost midnight. Sorry for this lighting, by the way. The main takeaways from this book was, one, that it's definitely entertaining. It's not a plot that has never been seen before. It's nothing unique. So if you're looking for something unique and you don't want a lot of things that have been redone in the fantasy world or the romantasy world, you're probably gonna get frustrated with this book. It was fun for what it was. I really enjoyed it. I'm curious to see where the second book goes. The ending didn't go where I expected it to, but I still think it was a good ending. My only issues with this book were the pacing of the ending. I feel like a lot of times with fantasy, you get to the end and it's like the author is just throwing so many twists and turns at you. They're hitting you left and right and it seems a little overwhelming. They are fun because you're getting all these interesting things happening, but it's like the author wants that wow factor, and I understand that, but the pacing just feels so off from the rest of the book. So that was a bummer for me. And then the other thing was the romance. I liked the situations with the romance. I liked the plot line of that, but I didn't feel that connection with the two characters themselves. So the romance didn't really do anything for me. So it was good. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 star. I will read the second book. I think that if it was a longer series, I would have not continued the series after this one, but since it's only gonna be a duology, I'm fine with reading another book just to see where it goes. With that being said, we are moving on to Blood Over Brighthaven, finally, by M.L. Wong. The only thing I really know about this, I tried to read the synopsis a little bit, but I didn't want to get too far into it because it was a long synopsis, and I feel like when synopses are long, it kind of tells you a bit too much. Our main character has a magical power. I think she is a mage. If you mix any sort of academy setting with magic, I love that so much. So I'm so pumped for this book. I think I'm really gonna like it. But from what I know, plot-wise, our main character is a mage. She has this magic power. And then I think we're getting 2 point of views. There's a guy in here that is known as sort of an outcast or whatever, but I think he also has power. And him and our main character are gonna team up to like find out these secrets about this academy or something in the magic world. So I'm gonna start this tonight. Probably not gonna read a lot, but I need to because I have 4 days left. And if I do end up going to the Lavender Festival on Thursday, that is the last day that this book is due. I technically only have 3 days because I don't think I'm gonna be able to read that day I go to the Lavender Festival. It is supposed to storm or rain that day. We'll see once that day comes, but I am a little nervous. days left. I only read 16 pages last night, and that is all the update I have for you for today. 2 days left now. I am now on page 100 of Blood Over Brighthaven. I'm 23% of the way through. My goal was to be page 150 by the end of last night. Obviously, you know, that was not the case. I'm really liking this so far. I think I'm liking it more than The Sword of Kaigen by this author, which I gave the book 5 stars. So we'll see how things go. I'm gonna give you a little more insight on what this book is about and the plot. Basically, all you have to know is that we have this female main character, and she is good at magic. She can do all this magic stuff that is not known for women to do. Women are not known to be mages. We have this society in this academy where there are all these magic professors and these magic teachers, and she was actually taught by a male magic teacher. And then there's this sort of test that you have to do, and they give you different prompts, and you have to use your magic and succeed in these prompts in order to pass and get into this academy. This world picks one female mage every 10 years. Every decade, there's only one female that gets the opportunity to do these tests and for the chance to get into this academy. And our main character is the very first woman in history to do this. So I love that. I love that we're getting that history in writing. I'm really liking her a lot. And then we have the other character that we're kind of focusing on. We haven't gotten 2 different point of views yet. It's mainly focused on our female main character, but this other guy, I believe his name is pronounced Tamil. The very first chapter, it was him, a little bit of his backstory and how he came to this place of Tyron, which is where we are residing now. That's where this book is taking place. Like I said earlier when I was explaining this book, him and our main character, I believe her name is pronounced Skiona. It's Sciona. Him and Skiona are teaming up. He became her assistant. They're going to be working together, and I think they're going to grow some sort of connection. And I'm really excited because I like the both of them. I really think this story is just going to be absolutely fantastic, so I'm very excited to keep reading this. But my plans for the day are to edit a video and get that ready to upload. And then once that is done, I will get into this book and hopefully read a lot. I would like to finish this by tomorrow. Alright, it's been a while. I think it's been like 2 or 3 days, probably 3 days since I last updated, but I was sick. I'm just now getting over it. I still have a little bit of a stuffy nose and a tiny cough here and there. You can probably tell in my voice I feel a little flummy. I feel a little flummy in there. But for the most part, I'm feeling better, so I can finally update. I've just been reading kind of some of the time. I just really did not want to read. I did finish Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong, so we need to do my final review on that. And then I started Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, and I think I'm over 50% of the way through that book. I'll have to check when I start talking about that. Blood Over Brighthaven. I finished that with, I think, a few hours left of my hold, so that was pushing it. And I think the last time I updated, I was saying I really liked it. It was giving 5-star potential. I ended up not liking it. Actually, I rated it 2 stars, which is very disappointing because this author also wrote The Sword of Kaigen. I gave that book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if this author has other works besides these 2, but I'm noticing that with these 2 books, this author does not follow your common storyline structure where you have that introduction and then you get introduced to the conflict and then you work through the conflict and get through the story and then everything is like comes to a conclusion in the end. I think they definitely have a unique ending to their books from what I've noticed. The Sword of Kaigen, I really liked it and I appreciated it a lot, but Blood Over Brighthaven, I just wasn't feeling the ending and the way that everything wrapped up. And I don't know, maybe it's just me that feels that way, but I do think this author has a unique way to structure a plot. These books, you can't expect everything to go completely well. So there's always going to be something. They feel very real life because, of course, real life, a lot of certain situations, things don't end happily. And I do love that uniqueness to that ending of a story, but this one, it just didn't work for me. The beginning, I would say like 20 to 30% as our main character was going through all these prompts to get into this high mage situation. I love that. I was feeling it. And this book is described as dark academia. I would not say that at all. It wasn't necessarily an academy setting. She went through these different tests to get into being a high mage. After all of that, she really was just working in her own lab with her assistant, and it wasn't an academy setting. There were higher up professor-like people, but it wasn't like she was being taught and stuff. Like, she was on her own at that point. I honestly wouldn't say it's academia. I almost said academic.
what am I even, I don't know, academic? It wasn't, whatever. You guys understand what I'm trying to say, I hope. So it didn't really feel like that, and I was disappointed because I love dark academia, and I was hoping for that. So that left me quite a bit sad. I think my main takeaway with this was that the beginning was interesting and I was having fun and I didn't want to put it down. After that beginning portion, like 25 to 30% of the way through, the whole chunk until the very, very end, it felt like one really long scene. I didn't feel like we got a lot of different things happening. There was a lot of information that popped up with the world and it was really interesting, and that was where our second main character came in. He gave a lot of information that Skiona would not have known. Her people don't accept Tamil's people, so them working together, I loved that whole connection. And I really loved Tamil as a character. If he was a main character, I would have liked this book a lot. But our main character, Skiona, she got to a point where she was really frustrating. And I love, I'm a woman. Of course, I love a strong female main character. That if you get a book where women are frowned upon and they're not accepted, it's always nice to get a strong female main character that is going to go against that and she's going to prove all these people wrong. And that did happen. But I was very frustrated with her along the way. Just the way she talked to Tamil in certain situations. She wasn't really accepting of him only when she wanted to be, but she kept going back. Like, I feel like she would accept some things that he was saying that really needed to be accepted for her and her people in order for her to change the way that her people think. But then she just took steps back and kind of said mean things to him, and I just really didn't like that. And she was also just, I don't know, she was frustrating me. I like the idea of the themes and the point of this book, but I didn't like the execution of it necessarily. I think it could have been a really powerful story, and I just didn't feel like it ended that way. After that, I have currently 3 days to finish Sounds Like Love. I don't exactly know what day I have to send this back, or what time of the day I have to send this back, but I only have 2 hours and 38 minutes approximately left of this book. I'm 53% of the way through. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I'm gonna read a good chunk of it tonight, and then tomorrow I'll finish. But this book is basically about a famous songwriter. Well, she's not like famous, she's just a songwriter. She's very good at what she does. And then of course this is a romance novel, and it's Ashley Poston. So if you haven't read Ashley Poston yet, it's this sort of magical realism. There's this magical element in these books. In this case, she is hearing this voice in her head, and they're kind of connecting with a song. So she's thinking that it's another person. She doesn't know what it is exactly. She doesn't know if she's going crazy. So she's slowly finding out if this person is an actual person and who they are and blah blah blah. I'm loving it so far, and I'm surprised I'm loving this because as soon as you get into this book, you jump in right away to a lot of famous people talk and famous bands. Her family has owned a smaller music venue for a while, like their whole entire lives. But I love the connection she has with her family and her best friend. I think with this one, I'm not gonna like the romance too much. I'm not liking it so far, but that's not to say that it's bad. It's just not something that I'm obsessed with. But I think I'm still gonna really, really like this book. I think it's gonna be like a 4 to a 4.5 star, and that's really all I have to say about that one. So halfway through, I will update you guys maybe tomorrow, depending on how far I get, and then we'll finish that one. And then I have to read My Friends by Frederick Bachman. And let me check how many days I have of that. Sounds Like Love is due, it's currently Saturday. It's due Tuesday at 8:24 a.m. I definitely have to finish that by Monday. I'll finish it tomorrow, Sunday probably. And then next we have My Friends by Frederick Bachman. That's the last book I'm reading for this vlog, and that is due in 5 days from this current moment. I think I can start My Friends tomorrow, so that'll be 4 days left. I'll have to finish that really soon. So that's where we're at right now. I think it's going good. I'm gonna finish these books. I know I am. I will see you guys when I see you, and we'll talk some more about books, because that's what we do. That's what we're doing. I'm like tired and bored right now. I don't know. I don't want to go home. Guys, if you want to like, subscribe, comment, watch my videos so I can get like a couple cents a day. Get me closer to moving out. We'll get like sleepover bookish vlogs. I want to do that so bad, but I can't do that until I move out. Ugh. I know as soon as I move out, I'm gonna have so much content, and I'm so excited, but I need money. It's okay, we'll get there. Life is just going slow. Update time. I have finished Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, and then I moved on to our last book, which is My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I finished Sounds Like Love yesterday, so I returned that 2 days early, and we are now on 3 days left for me to read My Friends, and I got to page, I think 40. I'm only 9% of the way through this book. I have like a little less than 8 hours left approximately. I'm loving this one so far, but we'll get into this after we talk about Sounds Like Love. Final review on that, I'm gonna end up giving it a 3.75. I really enjoyed it. I like the setting a lot. It's very summery. It's set in North Carolina, I believe. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it's set in North Carolina. It's very kind of like small town, very close-knit people, but also like take that lightly.
And I mean close-knit because of, I think, her family and her family connection and her best friend and whatever. But I definitely, it's a good setting for a book. And I think it should be read in the summer. It had, which I always love this in books, it has little tidbits that connect throughout the story. And I kind of figured it, like, as soon as one of the first hints came up, I knew what was going to happen and I knew what the end result was going to be. But I always love that because it's like a fun little puzzle when everything connects and it just feels really satisfying. It's certainly a book that brought a lot of emotions, which I always enjoy. I always appreciate when an author can make you go through a lot of different emotions throughout the whole story. It makes it really meaningful, in my opinion. And these characters definitely go through a lot. There's a lot of character progression within themselves and each other. The only thing that I didn't like about this was the romance, which is funny. I wouldn't say it's like a love triangle. It's not anything intense, but there was actually somebody else in here from our main character's past that I was kind of rooting for more than the male main character. He wasn't a bad person at all, so I feel like other people could possibly feel that way too. I don't know, I thought that they had more of a connection than the two that actually ended up together. Their connection felt very sudden to me, but I didn't feel the chemistry with it, so I didn't end up liking the romance. But since it is a romance book and that took up a lot of the story, that's why I didn't end up giving it a 4-star. It was close to a 4-star because I really enjoyed the story. I like how everything ended up. Now that I've read 3 of her books, I still don't know how I feel about the magical realism element. It's definitely interesting, but I think for me, when something like that happens, I want there to be an explanation why it's happening, but it's not a thing that there really is an explanation for because it's just happening to this one person, your main character. There was like the reasoning behind why they were kind of connected, but there's really no science behind it, obviously. And I feel like that's what throws me off a little bit. But also it's like, I just have to understand that it's fiction and it makes sense in this purpose of her writing her stories. Like, it's just what it is. Anyway, we finished that 2 days early. Now we are on My Friends by Frederick Blackman. I'm only, I think, like 40 pages into this book and I'm loving it so far already, which I knew was gonna happen. I just love his writing. I feel like he's lived so many different lives in so many different people's shoes. I've never read an author that feels like they understand different people as much as he does. Everything that he writes, like his quotes, the way that he words his sentences just really means a lot to me. This book, from what I know so far, you're dealing with 2 separate timelines. I don't know if it's gonna be 2 separate timelines the whole way through, but it starts off with Louisa and her friend named Fish. You see their connection instantly, and just because of his writing, I can really feel that connection between their friendship, and I fell in love with them instantly. So you get that plot line, and then you get like 25 years ago with these 3 friends, these 3 boys. One of them is an artist and he ends up painting this painting that Louisa, in like the present timeline, she's obsessed with this painting. She loves it. She really feels a lot from it and she understands what it means and what the purpose of it is. I really don't know where this book is going, but I'm loving it so far. I love both timelines. Usually when I read a book with separate timelines and we get different characters, I always tend to like one of them a lot more than the other one, and I don't really care for the other one. But this one, I instantly loved both timelines and all the characters in each timeline so far. And that's really all I have to say about this. Obviously, I'm not far, but we'll see how much I get through this today. I didn't want to put it down last night, but I had to go to bed. It was getting close to midnight. I think it actually was midnight. I don't know. It's like I want to stay up late to read, but I also want to get up early and be productive and do things. But it's like my book's, you know, my book's there. It's good, and I want to read it. It's a struggle. Stars above with their soft glow, lighting up the night. Hey, guess where I am? In the car. What's new? Okay, so I do have an update on My Friends. This is a really sad book, and I really don't want to read it right now. In the past, I feel like I was able to read sad books, and they didn't really like affect me too much. They were sad. I would cry. It still wasn't something that I started reading and then I realized it was sad and then tried to avoid, you know, or like I didn't want to keep reading. This one though, it's been sad the whole entire time, and I don't know if I can do it if it stays the same. I just don't like sad books anymore. There's a lot of talk about like our main characters losing people that they are very close to. It's still a very fantastic book. I love his writing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of quotes that I relate to, and I'm highlighting a lot of things, and I'm regretting waiting so long to read this now because, well, it also sucked because I had so many holds. This was my last one, and now I only have 2 days left to read this, which technically I either have to read, well, most of it tonight and then finish it tomorrow. It's currently July 1st. It's due July 3rd at like 9:30 a.m. So I would like to finish this July 2nd because I'm not going to get up and read early in the morning. So I'm debating, like, I do want to finish this, but then I also don't want to like rush through it and not pay attention because I'm afraid of like what it's going to make me feel. But I also need to finish it because then I will have to place another hold and I'll be waiting months. But I do plan to buy the physical copy anyway, so it's like, I don't know, I literally don't know what to do. I am going to try to read a little bit tonight. I think I have like 5 hours and some minutes left. I'm 26% of the way through. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I'll come back with an update tomorrow maybe, and we'll see if I finish this. Soft ocean waves, melody so light, drifting
Good news. I have completed the challenge. I did finish My Friends last night before I had to return it this morning at like 9:30. I was able to get through it. It did get happier. I was feeling less sad as I was reading it, but it was still heartbreaking. Like, absolutely heartbreaking. I feel like every character we met, there were just so many sad things that happened to them. It was rough. It was rough to get through. I'd say if you don't like that stuff in books, I wouldn't recommend this. But if you don't mind, and if you like sad books, of course I'm going to recommend it because it's Frederick Bachman. I love his writing. I love the way that he can just write a character and you feel like you know them. They feel like real people. And I can't even explain how well he can write characters and weave stories together. I'm not going to give a rating to this book just because I had to rush through the last bit of it because I didn't really have time to read yesterday. And I also just didn't feel like picking the book up. So there were times where I had to rush, and I don't want to rate the book because, of course, like, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to do that. I always want to take my time with the book and really feel what I'm feeling and figure that out. But I think some parts of this, not all of it, and it was a very small amount, I did feel like I wasn't able to sit with it as much as I would have liked to. So I'm not going to give it a rating, but it is very high up there. I think if I sat with it, I'd still give it between a 4 and a 5. It has great character connection, and I really liked where our characters ended up. The two timelines weed their way in together. As soon as I mentioned the two different timeline things, they weed their way in together after that. So it was very early on in the book. We had Louisa, the main character, who was our current timeline, and then back 25 years ago, we were getting the timeline of the friend group and this artist that painted this painting that this whole story revolves around. One of the friends in that group ended up being in the same timeline as Louisa, and multiple of them. There were other people, but the timelines did connect, and it was very nice to read about, but it was sad. That's all I have to say about My Friends. It was a book on my 2025 list, so I'm able to get that off as well. I'm happy that I completed this challenge. I'm very proud of myself. I was getting a little nervous sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little stressful. I feel like I was pushing my limit a little bit, but we did it, and I think it was fun. I had a good time, read some good books. So just to do a little recap, we had The Rose Bargain, which I'm still gonna give like a 3.5 star. I'm really excited for the second book just to see how this concludes. I believe it's a duology. And then we had Blood Over Brighthaven. I was disappointed in this just because I felt like it dragged a lot and it could have been more powerful at the end. I'm gonna give it a 2, which I'm very sad about, but it is what it is. And then we had Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I'm gonna give that a 3.5 as well. I honestly, it's been so long I don't even remember what I rated these books after I finished them and what I told you guys. So if they change, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna end up 3.5 for that one. I liked the plotline and everything. I just didn't connect with the romance. I didn't really feel any chemistry. And then My Friends, no rating, but it was still really good and I would recommend it still. Thank you for joining me on this little challenge. I had a lot of fun. If you guys have any other challenge ideas that have to do with reading and you would like to see them, let me know. I will see you guys in my next video, whatever that may be. I hope you have a great day or a great night wherever you are. I'll see you later. Bye.